So recently on the podcast, we talked about the new Business Roundtable pledge, which includes dozens of billionaire CEOs, and they say that they will start putting people over profits. Now, this is laughable. It's evident that all they're trying to do is communicate to a potential progressive president that, they're going to try to behave, so you don't have to impose any new taxes or regulations on them because they're going to self-regulate. Now, this included the likes of Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, Apple CEO Tim Cook, the heads of the defense industry, big oil companies, the CEOs of big banks. It's something that serious people don't take seriously and shouldn't take seriously because we know what they're trying to do. This is nothing more than virtue signaling. But since the people over at Fox Business are not serious people, they did take this very seriously. So Stuart Varney actually spoke out against this pledge that was just put out by the so-called titans of industry, and he's going to complain that this is a bad idea because you definitely should not put people over profits. You should put profits over people. Like, I'm not joking. He's literally going to make the case for what is essentially late-stage capitalism. Take a look.
I don't know whether it was an image polishing effort or a genuine shift by business, but I'm not wild about the statement from the Business Roundtable. The very top echelons of American business issued a statement pledging awareness of social issues. They want companies to be, first and foremost, nice. They want business to be sensitive to customers, employees, suppliers, communities, and almost as an afterthought, shareholders. Maybe we should remind the titans of business that it is shareholders who own the company and it is their money that is at risk. There's a lot wrong with this. If shareholder capital is diverted outside the company, future performance suffers, and that means all stakeholders suffer. Innovation suffers. The competitive ethic suffers. I don't know about you, but I invest in companies that I think will make a lot of money, and that's what I want them to do. So the company will make progress, and I'll share in it. That's why I invest. Now, we all have our own personal values. I wouldn't invest in a tobacco company, for example, but that's not what these executives are talking about. They're engaged in a reversal of corporate priorities. It doesn't look like profit is job one these days. I can understand where this is coming from. It's a deliberate softening of capitalism's image, and that's a response to the attacks from presidential candidates, especially Senators Warren and Sanders. Who knows who wins in 2020? Business appears to be hedging its bets. I have news for America's business royalty. The left has no time for you. No amount of softening and promising to be nice will do you any good at all. If the socialists win, you're toast. So get real and support vigorous capitalism, which made America great and prosperous in the first place.
Talk about a hot take. Stuart Varney is so smug. I probably hate him more than 95% of the Fox News hosts because he's so arrogant and he doesn't even listen to the way that he sounds and how selfish he comes off. Like, you're literally advocating for what is tantamount to late-stage capitalism. And it's just, how do you think you're going to win people over? This is a big yikes, right? Because if capitalism is currently undergoing a PR crisis, do you honestly believe that making the case that we should put profits over people is going to help capitalism's cause? If you truly support capitalism, then really what you should be arguing is to actually impose more regulations and make it a little bit softer around the edges, because that's what would get most people off of your backs. Now, look, I know, and a lot of people know, that if you impose new regulations on capitalism, capitalism is like a virus. It will attack those new rules. It'll attack and undo anything that stands in its way. But at least, if you want to win people back, that's the argument that he should make. Sure, I think capitalism maybe it's a little bit too unfettered. Maybe we should rein it in a little bit. But what he's saying here is, no, capitalism is just fine the way it is. And if you don't like it, then fuck you. That's basically what he's saying here in a nutshell. He says, I don't know about you, but I invest in companies that I think will make a lot of money, and that's what I want them to do. Great, but you see, the thing is that most people don't invest in companies. Most people don't have all of these investments, and furthermore, I don't give a shit if you want to make money. Okay, I don't care where you're investing. If these large multinational corporations are going to pollute the planet, rig the economy, crash the economy, then I don't care if us imposing new regulations on them doesn't help you make more money, Stuart. I don't care. His salary at Fox News is about $600,000 a year, I believe. He has a net worth of $10 million. I think you're going to be okay, bud. I think you'll survive if we impose some more regulations on capitalism. He also says, now we all have our own personal values. I wouldn't invest in a tobacco company, for example, but that's not what these CEOs are talking about. They're engaged in a reversal of corporate priorities. It doesn't look like profit is job number one these days. First of all, I don't know what world you're living in, because of course that's what they care about. That is their number one priority, and you can see it in their actions. So to say this, it just makes you look dumb, to be frank, Stuart. It makes you look like a fucking dumbass. Because to say that it doesn't seem like the CEOs, the titans of industry, don't care about profits, I mean, what world are you living in? When Apple has to put up suicide nets around sweatshops because conditions are so terrible that workers in China would rather kill themselves than continue working under those horrible conditions? What exactly do you think that they're valuing here, Stuart? People or profits? When Amazon warehouse workers have to piss in bottles to save time, do you think that they're valuing people over profits? When just 100 companies emit the lion's share of greenhouse gas emissions and ruin the planet just so they can increase shareholder value? I mean, do you not see that as them putting profit above everything else, including the planet that they live on? I mean, if you honestly believe that they're going to start not looking out for the bottom line, you're just delusional. You're absolutely delusional, and you don't even understand the way that capitalism works, which is the system that you shill for. So the fact that he would be outraged by this when really he should be applauding this, even if we all know it's not going to amount to anything, but if you don't at least acknowledge, even if you like capitalism, that it's currently undergoing a PR crisis, you're just fucking stupid. I don't know how to be polite about this. I can't not sound like a dick, but you're a fucking dumbass, Stuart. Because a lot of people can finally see that capitalism is not working out for them. Hence why a large portion of millennials support socialism. Now, in the event, we hypothetically lived in a democratic socialist society, and for whatever reason, it started to erode. Institutions became corrupted. I would realize as a democratic socialist that we would have to reform that system because people are not liking it. They're growing dissatisfied with it. But Stuart Varney, what does he do? Well, he just pretends like, nothing is happening. This is that meme with the dog in the house that's on fire saying this is fine, personified here with Stuart Varney. So everything he said there is wrong, but there's one exception. He was absolutely right about one thing. Quote, the left has no time for you. No amount of softening and promising to be nice will do you any good at all. If the socialists win, you're toast. You're damn fucking right. That's the first thing I've ever heard Stuart Varney say. That's correct.
Subscribe if you like this video, folks. Mike's tremendous, and he's doing a really, really good job. Many people are telling me about how wonderful the Humanist Report is. Bigly.